Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is March 22nd, and right now we're looking at the infrared satellite imagery. You can see our low pressure center right off the California-Oregon border here, spreading moisture northward here. This may kick off a few thunderstorms today, but with this cloud shield, it's going to be tough to really destabilize the atmosphere that much. But we'll look and see what the chances are of a lightning strike or two. This system will bring some snowfall to the higher terrain, and then we've got another strong system as we go through next week. It's going to be setting up shop right off the coastline, it looks like. We'll dive into those details as we go through the video this morning. If we look at the Doppler radar overlay, you can kind of see this ongoing precipitation. That's going to make it tough to destabilize for some areas here. So it was looking a little bit better yesterday, but you still can't rule out a couple thunderstorms, especially across Oregon, and we're going to have another chance tomorrow as well. And again, we'll look at those details here in a moment. If we look at Stevens Pass through this weekend, you can see 4 to 6 Snoqualmie, maybe a couple inches of snowfall here. Yeah, I mean, it's not looking that great for some of the lower passes like Snoqualmie Pass, but still, we will bring some mountain snows here. And this is going to be the same case for Oregon. You can see the Rocky Mountains picking up a little bit here as well. We'll look at the weather models for that here in a moment. And looking at SeaTac, 56 degrees yesterday, actually 1 degree above average yesterday. And, you know, we're probably going to be right there in the mid 50s again here today, right around average, and probably bring some precipitation with these showers moving up over the area. Here's day one thunderstorm outlook according to the Storm Prediction Center. You see it does include some portions of southern Washington, western Oregon here, and you might kick off a storm even east of the mountains a little bit there as well. And as we go through day two, this low is going to be sitting here and spinning right off the Oregon coast. It's going to try to spread some of this instability up north across the portions of eastern Oregon into Idaho and maybe southwest Montana here as we go through the day Saturday. And if you want a nice affordable home weather station that just happens to have a lightning detection system with it, this one is a nice one. Click on that link down below to save 10% off. All solar powered. It's also the data for you in the cloud. You can have it send you notifications when you do get a lightning strike nearby, or even when it starts raining at your house, for example. Highly recommended. Taking a look at the high resolution rapid refresh. So let's look at what the Doppler radar may look like as we go through the day today. This is one of the more recent runs here. So we're going to take a look at that. You can see the precipitation kind of riding up over the area as we go through the early afternoon hours here. And you can see the heavier amounts across western Oregon here, maybe a thunderstorm riding up across the Washington coastline there, southwest Washington. And you'll see some of this precip tries to make its way up towards the Seattle metro, but will there be enough instability to kick off a lightning strike or two? Still yet to be seen. And this is actually as we're going into the nighttime hours here. You can continue to see the low pressure center spin here over Oregon, and that's going to continue to be the case on Saturday when we bring another round of showers, mainly again across Oregon, maybe clipping into southwest Washington here and southern Washington. And I'll show you the European here in a moment because it's showing something interesting as well. But let's look at the high resolution rapid refresh. You can see the lightning flash density potential as you go through the day today. And again, it's going to be tough to destabilize things enough to get a lightning strike across the Seattle metro. Better chances across some of southwest Washington and portions of western Oregon, maybe the Cascades here. And you can kind of see that low pressure center again spinning off the coastline there. Can't rule out a thunderstorm or two here across southwest Oregon also. And then this threat will move eastward as we go through the day Saturday. But if we look at the North American model, this goes out 60 hours. And again, what the Doppler radar may look like as we go through the day today. And you can kind of see pretty widespread cloud shield as we go through some of the afternoon hours here. So will this be enough to destabilize things to kick off a lightning strike here across Portland or southwest Washington? Good questions here. I hedge on the side of probably not, but this could be a thunderstorm maybe at some of the coastal areas here, maybe across some of the Cascades, moving out towards the Dalles. And then you can kind of see the low pressure center spinning here as we go through tonight into tomorrow morning. And you can kind of see that spin in the atmosphere here as we go through the day Saturday. Again, could kick off a thunderstorm or two. Again, we're going to revisit this tomorrow morning to see how much things look like they may destabilize here as we go through the day Saturday. Still kind of a tough call with lots of clouds around. As you can see, this low pressure center sliding off to the east. But if we back up a little bit there, look at as we go through Saturday afternoon, could have a couple thunderstorms across the Willamette Valley, the Cascades here, and the Oregon coast, especially that low pressure center will be spinning right off the coastline. If we look at the European, sometimes this nails it pretty well. Lightning flash density potential. This is 3-hour average. And as we scroll through the day today, you can see some of that threat into southwest Washington, Willamette Valley here. And as we go through tonight, it's not showing much for the Seattle metro here or even up down towards Olympia or Tacoma. But as we scroll through the day Saturday, we're going to destabilize a bit here again. And you kind of see it does include some of the South Puget Sound here, portions of Oregon, kicking off into eastern Washington and Oregon as well as we go through Saturday afternoon and evening. And then Sunday, this threat should be pushing off to the east by that point. Now, taking a look at the European, this is that system we're dealing with right now, kind of right off the Oregon coastline here, spinning. It's going to be with us here for a bit. And we get a little bit of a break. We're going to keep that flow onshore, though. This ridge, very transient here and not much of an impact here on the weather, other than just kind of a slight break between systems as we bring a stronger storm system as we go on in through Tuesday night into Wednesday, parking right off our coastline here. Probably going to fill off the coastline, but it could bring some bigger waves and some winds to some local areas here as well. We'll be watching this one closely because the GFS and the European have been in good agreement on a fairly robust low pressure center setting up right off the Washington coast. But let's take a look. Here we go. We can see that system rolling on through here, a little bit of onshore flow, some precipitation off and on as we go. Then you can see that deeper low approach. Look at that 985 millibar low. So fairly strong out there. It's got a good pressure gradient, but you notice it is out over the ocean. So it's probably not going to bring any kind of high winds across any of the local interior areas here, but we got to watch it out there. You know, Vancouver Island could get breezy, some of the coastal areas and the higher terrain as well. It's probably going to have a strong frontal system associated with it also. As you can see, it's spinning and starting to fill off the coastline. Here's the GFS. So this is the system we're dealing with here. It's going to kick off inland here, keep that onshore flow going, and then the next system starts winding up off our coastline. You can see it. That's a 975 millibar low. That's quite a beastly monster out there over the ocean, but you'll notice that gradient is out over the water here. You're starting to get some strong winds across some of the Oregon coast as we go through Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, however, and it could bring some locally windy conditions, mainly for the coastal areas, as that low is going to be filling pretty well there. But that is a fairly strong gradient across some of the Oregon coastline here, out, even up into Washington. So we got to watch that one closely. That could bring some windy conditions depending on just how strong it is and how close that gradient gets into the interior regions. But mostly looks like windy conditions should be confined to the coastal areas. Then we might keep some troughing going and some systems on in through the end of March. And now taking a look at total snow, 10-to-1 ratio on the European, you can see we're going to get a bit of snowfall as we go through Saturday afternoon across the area. Now it's not a great deal of snow, and so Snoqualmie Pass is just struggling to even get a couple inches here on the most recent European as of last night. But as we scroll up in towards the extended, we are going to have that low pressure center here, and it could bring some decent amounts of snowfall with it. Again, we'll be watching that as we go into the future. We're looking all the way out towards Tuesday and Wednesday at this point, so plenty of time to break down that system and see what kind of snowfall amounts it may bring. Here's the National Blend of Models. It actually says 59 for Seattle, maybe 60 for Portland here, and even warmer east of the mountains there, so not too bad of a day. But there is going to be some precipitation and showers around, however. Then we cool things down a bit more tomorrow. As you can see, 54, maybe upper 50s for Portland here. Then we go through Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Nothing too crazy. We're hovering somewhere around average. But again, we'll be watching closely to see what that storm system is going to do as we go through the mid portion of next week. Here's the snow water equivalent. Again, and not much change coming up here, but I want to kind of show you this on a daily basis to see if we can bump these numbers up here over the next week or so. 6 to 10 day all the way out through March 31st, below average across much of the west coast here. 6 to 10 day precipitation still below average here for the Pacific Northwest. 8 to 14 day, the near normal starts to return as we go through April 4th, and the 8 to 14 day precipitation above normal across much of the west coast. But yeah, this will be interesting to see if we can kick off a couple lightning strikes. It's going to be tough. As you can see, that cloud cover is pretty persistent here. We need a few sun breaks to really destabilize things. You might start to get it here as this starts to make some progress inland here, but you can see the cloud cover is pretty good across western Washington. Well, and I'm not sure that we're going to get any much in the way of lightning across some of the Puget Sound area with this initial round. We'll get to watch this for tomorrow as well. We'll see how much we destabilize. We'll take a look at everything again as we go through the day tomorrow as well, and we'll see what the models have to say about that. But anyway, I hope you guys are liking these videos. Click like and subscribe. We'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.